My mom got me when she was around 22, which means when she was my age, when she was 25, I was 3 years old.
Quarter life crisis has begun.
Hola amigos! And welcome to today's video. It is indeed my 25th birthday. I've filmed so many videos today, I can't even count all of them. I have all of these pink balloons here. It looks like I'm having a gender reveal. I'm not preggers, guys. Today I will do 25 things that I've learned in the past 25 years. And also I want you guys to go down below, comment all of the number things you've done, you've learned in the past number years. So however old you are, if you're 10 years old, tell me 10 things or 15 things and so on. I will also show you guys some cute clips throughout this video as a little birthday montage. Numero uno, comparing yourself to others will do more harm than good. Growing up, the number one thing I did was compare myself, and it's also the number one thing most people do. Most girls and boys out there, we always look at other people and we're like, I wish I had her hair, I wish I had her body. Comparing yourself, it's only going to stress you out. Also think about this, we all compare ourselves to other people, so the people you think are perfect also compare themselves to other people, so there's no perfect people out there. The people you think are perfect have so many problems as well, so it's just a vicious cycle and we should just break it. 2, grades don't define you. I was a straight B student growing up, and I was very proud of my B's, guys, because I worked hard. I would stay up until midnight or past midnight. I didn't have a life, especially when I was in Denmark. From grade 7 to 9, all I did was try to get a good grade, and no matter what I did, it would not go above the B, except for classes that I enjoyed, like English, PE, art, French. Other classes I just couldn't understand because number one, it was in Danish, so obviously it was harder for me. I tried doing so many things. I got tutors when I was here in the Philippines. My mom would teach me, my family would teach me. I would go online. Online wasn't that good back then though, but you know, I would do so many things and still get a B. It's not because I was stupid, it's not because I could have done better, it's because we all have strengths and weaknesses. Ask successful people in your life, ask them what their grades were in high school, and they probably don't even remember, and if they do, I'm sure a lot of them got B's and even C's, and even like I've heard people who failed classes but they ended up succeeding because you know why? Because they found their passion and they found out what their strengths were. 3, friends come and go. This one is hard because I didn't believe it until I was around 15 years old. I had no friends because I moved from Sweden to the Philippines, and my friends in Sweden, we were all very young, below 12 years old. So obviously, you know, they moved on really quickly. I did not move on though, because I was the one who moved away. It's harder, like it depends. Like I've been in both situations, but moving away is definitely harder than being left behind, because when you are moving away, you are going to go to a place that for the most part you don't even know. You're a stranger to that place. Your friends abandon you too, or not really abandon, but they just move on, and for them everything is the same except you're just gone. And I mean, it's sad for them in the beginning, but they will eventually move on, which is sad, but that is just how it is, unless you find these super special friends who are there for life. There's not that many of those friends out there, so if you have those, hold them tightly, guys. 4, join extracurriculars, especially before high school ends. I say this because before high school, that means before you're 18, around that age, and before you're 18, that's the time where you have the most time, and also that's the time where you grow the most, like you learn the most, and you suck everything up like a sponge, guys. I really mean it. Like when I was growing up, I wish I said like yes to extracurriculars more. I did go to sports. I had soccer, I had swimming, and we had choir. I went to a choir outside of school, and then but I said no to other extracurriculars, which I wish I would have said yes to, because trying out many different clubs, like trying out different sports, different art classes, different types of clubs. It's just going to help you find your passion, and it's going to help build your path to life. If you don't try it, then you don't know if you like it or not, and if you try nothing, then you will be stuck unless you already know what you want. But if you don't know what you want, try to join everything. 5, anger doesn't even matter. It's not worth it to keep like resentment against other people. Obviously, if something big happens, like somebody like killed your dog or something worse, if somebody did something horrible, obviously like don't talk to them again, and you know, keep them out of your life. If you have toxic people, you know, you just bye-bye. But don't keep that anger inside. Just let go of those people. Don't like think every day, oh, I hate this person, because anger, it feels so sour inside. Like, I've never been extremely angry where I feel like I'm going to explode. I've been angry, but I never act on it. Like, I don't go and scream at people. I've never actually screamed at anyone out of anger, so that's a good thing. I just don't think it's worth it to feel angry, because you're the one who you're going to just fill your body with toxic waste. And that's actually scientific. When you are so stressed out all the time, that's toxic juice inside of you guys. 6, say yes more. When I was just younger, I was such a no girl. I said no to everything. If you tell me like, do you want to go there? No. Do you want to have this? No. I got offered a lot of opportunities growing up where I could have joined judo. I said no. I could have gotten into this really good music school, which I had waited in line for like 4 years or so. I said no once I finally got accepted. Now I regret stuff, and regret, it's another toxic waste, guys. We have all felt it, and it doesn't feel good. If you can say yes, say yes. Like when I'm 60, I want to look back to this moment right now and be like, I am so proud of 25-year-old me. If you make yourself proud, then you will make other people proud at the same time. People's thoughts about you don't matter, because who cares what other people think of you? If somebody thinks you're ugly, if somebody thinks you're stupid, if somebody thinks that you're not good enough, who cares? Because I mean, honestly, if it's just a classmate, then who cares? Because in a few years you will graduate and you will never see them again. If it's a family member that is not supportive of you, then I mean, obviously it's different because it's your family, but you don't have to listen, guys. It's not worth it to think about what other people think of you. And I am, even now, I'm not perfect, guys. Obviously I still think about what other people think of me, and I just shouldn't do that, because who cares? 8, skincare and health in general is important to maintain, because this is a funny one. Because when I was a teenager, I had really bad skin. I tried everything, I didn't actually end up trying Proactive, but I tried Nivea and Neutrogena and all those different things, and I did everything that I could to make my skin pretty, but I didn't think about the food. Like, I would eat a lot of dairy and stuff like that, and that was not good for my skin. So if you're a teenager and you're going through acne and all that horrible things, so annoying, I know, try to switch up your diet. Maybe like leave out the dairy, or don't eat too much of it, you know, stuff like that. Moisturize. I can't say this enough. 9, traveling is a brain booster. This I've learned so much throughout the years. Traveling makes you smarter, makes you more humble. You will understand the world more. When I was growing up in Sweden, I was so spoiled because I didn't know anything about the world, really. And once I moved here to the Philippines, I saw how lucky I really was. I saw that I don't need the latest iPhone to be happy, because some people don't even have a phone. Some people don't even have food. And here I am, being a spoiled brat, wanting a new iPhone. When you see poverty, when you see somebody struggle, when you see people who are hungry, it's like your mind will snap. Why did I even want those things? Why did I beg my mom to buy me stuff like a Tamagotchi and stuff like that? You know, I didn't need it. But obviously, like, if you're a kid, obviously you want toys, but it helps when you travel. Things will just click, guys. 10. It's okay to fail. And this one you hear all the time, but I never ever believe them, because I'm like, no, it's not, because I'm a perfectionist. But I've learned that the only way to actually learn something is by failing at it first. Kind of like how when you learn how to ride a bike, you kind of have to fall a few times to really understand how it works. And also, like, for other sports, like with skiing, when I was skiing and I learned it for the first time, I fell more times than I can count, and my knees were actually black at the end of the day. And at the end of the week, I could barely walk, and it hurt like crazy, and the pain in my foot lasted for years. I'm actually not sure what happened with that. We never got an x-ray, but there was it would hurt like crazy. I actually think I did injure it in some way, but we never got it checked, so who knows. But that was the only way for me to learn. 11. In the end, family is the only thing that will matter. And this sounds morbid, but like, when the end comes, guys, you won't be in your deathbed thinking about, you know, your career or about your grades. You won't think about the small things anymore, and even things you thought was big things, like how you look, about your Instagram following. You're not going to think about that. And I've not been in my deathbed just yet, knock on wood, but I have been in not really a near death situation, but I was in a place where I thought I was almost there, because a few years ago I cut my foot on this rusty door, and I got a fever suddenly, and I got really sick, and we had to go to the ER, and I had to get the tetanus shot and all of these things, and I felt super nauseous, and I felt like I was going to pass out, and I really thought I was going to die, because I mean, that was the scariest moment in my life when it comes to my own health. I thought I was going to die. First thing I thought was, because my mom wasn't with me, this was in Siargao, the first thing I thought was, I'm going to die without being able to give my mom a hug or tell her that I love her, you know, stuff like that. I mean, that was the only thing I was thinking about. Like, I just wanted my mom. When I found out that I'm not going to die, it just put things into perspective. That's why now I'm like, relationships are the only thing that really matters. Number 12. Find your passion and make it grow, make it stronger. If you can find your passion before you go to college, then that will be the biggest help for you, because number one, if you are going to go to college, you will be able to pick a major straight away. You will be able to work on your craft, if it is an artistic one, or if you want to become a doctor, an engineer, you want to become a landscaper, whatever it is you want to become, you will be able to work on it sooner, which means when you are an adult, you will be almost an expert by that time, or you will become really good at it. I knew that I loved to draw, I knew I loved to create stuff, but I just think I wish I was passionate about it, but I wish I put more work into it, because back then the only thing that was on my mind were my friends. Take some time out of your day. If you are that young, it's going to be hard to understand it, but like 2 hours a day, spend that on whatever your passion is. I wish I spent 2 hours a day drawing. That's why now I'm starting to do that as much as I can, to draw every day, because the next year when I go to college, I will be so much better at it than I am now. The world would be a better place if school would teach us how to find our passions. I'm just saying. Number 13. Yeah, nobody's ugly. That's just like period, because you might find some people to be ugly, you might find some people to not be attractive. Like, obviously we're not all attracted to all people. I will find a guy like super cute, and I'm like, he looks so cute in that sweater. I love guys in hoodies, and my mom is like, what? He's not attractive. And if I'm talking about me, to some people, or a lot of people, might find me ugly. You know, there might be like, she's ugly, not because they're like mean about it, just they just aren't attracted to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then other people might be like, she's really cute, she's really like pretty, you know. So it really depends. Like for me, I would never say that I'm attractive, but some people are like, you definitely are, and I'm like, oh, no. But what I mean with that is we shouldn't feel self-conscious because we're pretty to somebody. Number 14, shyness is the most stupid thing ever. When I was growing up, my goodness, I was so shy. I would not talk in class. There was a time in the Philippines where I said 0 words in school. They thought I couldn't even speak. And when I got to to Denmark, I didn't speak for 3 years in class, almost. I did speak a little bit, like during presentations, but I didn't make friends. I would get so nervous about speeches in class. I had so much anxiety. On the bus ride to school, all I would think about is I was wishing for the bus to crash so I didn't have to do my presentation. That's such dangerous thoughts, even though I would never do anything to hurt myself back then. But I would hope things would happen. I would hope that bad things would happen. And that's a very like typical teenage thing to think, but it just, I wish I could go back and tell myself that it's not even worth worrying about. Like, who cares if I mess up? Like, I'm not going to meet these people in the future, and if they laugh because I pronounce a word incorrectly because it was in Danish and I wasn't fluent in Danish. My Danish sounds like Swedish, and I was so embarrassed about it. Number 15, say yes to stitches. And if you can see this, I don't know if you can see, but I fell in the bathtub when I was 6 years old, and it cracked my head open right there. It was a huge gash, blood all over the floor. It looked like Carrie went there. And when we came to the ER, they wanted to stitch me up, and I screamed bloody murder, no. In Sweden, they are afraid of cops coming because I was screaming so much. The doctors are really scared about cops, at least back then, and so they just used glue to stitch me, to close my wound up. It's a medical type of glue. It still hurt like crazy, but I wasn't that scared about it because it's not stitches. Now I have this scar which looks, it's open, you know, unlike this scar right here where I got that when I went ice skating and I fell and they gave me stitches right there, and can barely see it. You can only see it because I'm missing hair, but you can't actually see the scar. So say yes to stitches. Don't be scared, it's going to be okay. 16, family is number 1 no matter what. They are the only people who will be there for you. They are the only people who will sacrifice their lives for you for the most part. Obviously, some of us are very unlucky and we have those family members who wouldn't do everything for us. I'm really sad if you are one of those people, but for the most part, family is always there. Some people have friends who are like family and they will do the same thing. I realize that family really does, if you have a good one, they really do protect you. Number 17, words hurt way more than physical pain. And you hear the saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt you. It doesn't make sense because obviously physical pain is painful, but if you think about it this way, if a bully is hitting you or slapping you, it's going to hurt, but it's going to heal eventually. Words will not heal that fast. It sticks and it stains, and it's like poison. Words are really like poison. Like, it hurts more. It hurts me more when people are mean to me than, I've never gotten beat up, so I actually don't know, but you know, if you compare it to getting hurt in general, words hurt way more than getting stitches, for example. Take this with a grain of salt. Obviously, if you get really beat up like crazy, obviously that's going to be mentally damaging too. Number 18. We are not our parents, and I think we have to remember this because we constantly compare ourselves to our parents, like what they did when we were our age. And if you compare it, if you're a millennial watching this, us millennials, we are a little bit slower than our parents. And I think each generation becomes slower and slower, and not all people, but just for the most part. We've heard it a lot lately, you know, how millennials don't leave their house, they moved out later. Millennials become parents a bit later. There are millennials now who are parents. Congrats if you're a millennial and you are a mom or a dad. Not that many of us are that brave. My mom got me when she was around 22, which means when she was my age, when she was 25, I was 3 years old.
Quite a life crisis has begun.
That is crazy. How did my mom do that? I feel like I'm 15 still. I don't know how she was able to do that. And also, my mom she was an honor student, and for me it's only now that I've gotten straight A's. So, you know, comparing myself to her, she was an honor student, she was a mom early, she was basically perfect, and I'm not that. And she finished school, and I'm only now starting college. Oh! It's like 25 things I regret about my 25 years. 19! My god, I can't even count. Let go of the past and let go of the people who let go of you. Oh my goodness, I like to stay away from my past, but I do think a lot about the future. I'm a planner, so I love to think about the future and forget about the past. But a lot of people, they won't let go and they are just stuck in their past, and that can be so horrible, guys. You have to move on. If you did something wrong, if somebody did something wrong to you, obviously situations could be different. For the most part, I mean, you should just let it go, forgive, and try to forget. And if you can't forget, just try to like block it out. Number 20. You are always enough, and I don't care what you think or what other people think. You are always enough. We are all human beings. If you're a dog watching right now, then you are a dog and you are also enough. I'm just kidding, but yeah, you are enough. No matter what creature you are enough. Especially when we're in our teen years, we always think we're not enough. Should I really stay on this planet? Moving on to number 21. You are always good enough to somebody. If you don't think you're good enough, it's just important to know that somebody out there needs you. There is at least one person out there who would do everything for you, and if they lost you, it would crush them. When I think about my teen years, I was never in that really dark area. Some teens, I mean a lot of teens, get into that really dark area. I'm lucky that I never got that far. I did think about horrible things, and but the thing that would stop me from doing anything dangerous and stuff like that was that I'm important to my mom. Like, if anything were to happen to me, especially back then when I was a teenager, imagine like being a mom and losing your 15-year-old. It would have been horrible. And I don't say this because, ooh, I'm this important person, but I mean, I'm her child, you know. So mostly it's your parents. You're important to them, and then also you're important to your friends, you're important to your other family members, and also to other people who you've made an impact on. Like, so many people you don't even know, they look up to you and you don't even know it. I feel that way for other people who might not feel like they have anyone like that, but they do. It's me, but they don't know it. Number 22. Bullies and mean people have issues of their own, and there's actually nothing wrong with you. It's them. It's not you. You can ask any former bully or even a present bully and look into their lives. It's either their home life that is horrible, maybe they went through a trauma or something happened to them, maybe they got bullied before, and obviously it's absolutely not an excuse to become a bully, but just know that they are going through something really bad, and it's not about you even. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. They just want to like put their anger somewhere. And obviously if you're getting bullied, you should talk to somebody about it, because if you tell your school counselor or your teachers or your parents or whoever you want to tell, that bully should get consequences, and hopefully they will learn that, okay, me bullying other people, it's not going to do anything good. I never got bullied, fully bullied, but obviously there have been like some small bullies here and there, and I would just, there was this one comment I got, it wasn't really that bad, but to me it was just sad, I guess. I was walking into my classroom and he was like, why is she wearing leggings with her skirt? And it's really cold in Denmark, you can't just go around with a skirt, guys, it's cold. So I was wearing a leggings, and one of my classmates thankfully stuck up for me, and she was like, just shut up. She was like that guy had issues at home, which I found out later, which is why he was such a bully. Nothing wrong with me, it's him. There's something wrong with him, and he needs to work on it to become a better person. Number 23, you're not invincible. Like my whole life I thought, nothing is ever going to happen to me. Nothing is going to happen to my mom. Nothing is going to happen to my family members. Nobody's going to get hurt. We're all living in this utopia land, and the only people who get hurt are the ones on TV and other people, but not me. You know, that's what I thought, and that's what most teenagers think. It's this God complex we all have when we're a teenager, and I don't know why. And then there comes a point where you realize, oh, I'm not Superman, I'm not going to heal myself,
I'm human.
Most of us realize that through a dangerous or scary moment in our lives. For me, it was what I talked about earlier, where I got a cut on my foot and I realized that, oh my god, I can die. Obviously I knew I could bleed. I mean, I am a girl after all, duh. But that's why when you're a teenager, you're so reckless. You do all of these sports and you jump off buildings or whatever it is you're doing. Just know that your bones can break. Number 24. Listen to your body. I never listened to my body, and most of us don't listen to our bodies, because number one, we're afraid of the doctor. Whenever I had anything wrong with me medically, I was like, who cares, that will just go away tomorrow. But it would just get worse the next day, and then worse, and then worse, until the point where it's really, really bad, and then that's when I go to the doctor. Thankfully for me, nothing really bad has happened, but beginning of this year actually, I got an infection near my tooth, my wisdom tooth, and it was so painful. Like my whole head, I felt like it was going to explode, but I just didn't even want to like acknowledge that. I didn't even tell my aunt about it. Like, I was with my aunt, I didn't tell her about it, and then when it got really, really bad, that's when I told her. And then when we went to the dentist here in Manila, it was super bad, and it almost formed this cyst which it could turn into cancer. So listen to your body and go to the doctor if something is hurting, guys. Don't wait several days. My 25th thing I've learned: your problems and issues right now, no matter how old you are, it's not even going to matter in a year, or maybe even in a few months, or even weeks, or even days. Like, there have been moments, especially when I was younger, I was so dramatic, so sad about something. Like, I would get this acne spot and I was like, this is the end of the world, and then after a week it would disappear, and then I was fine, and then I worried for nothing. Or when I had to take my driver's license test, I thought I was going to die, and I felt I was going to just not make it. I thought I was going to fail, but then I passed. Now I have a license, and I'm like, why was I even afraid? It was so easy. If you fail, then you just do it again until you succeed. Just do it and do it and do it again, but don't do the same thing over and over again, because that is insanity, as Einstein has said before. If it doesn't work, try another technique and do it again, but don't do the same thing again, because that's just insane. a few months ago even, I felt self-conscious about my body. I've always felt self-conscious. We all have those days, especially as girls. We think we're so fat all the time, even though some of us who say that, they don't even have body fat in their bodies, but they think they're fat. Girls, we all just say this so naturally, like, I'm so fat, I'm so fat. That's all you can hear from girls. That's not even true. And if it is true that you are a little bit overweight, it's not something you can't change. Like, there was a time in my life where I was a little bit above the normal weight, and I discovered working out and eating healthy, and then I was like, oh, so it's not permanent. It's not like, so I can do something about it. You can change things up, you know? Nothing is permanent. Those are my 25 things I've learned in the past 25 years of my life. If you guys are a Virgo too, comment down below. I love my Virgos, and I also love all of you guys. Virgos unite! I hope you enjoyed the little footages I did. This is more like a montage to my 25 years. Anyways guys, just know I'm here for you. Do you need to talk or anything? I'm at AryaABF NV011, link down below on Instagram and Twitter, and check me out on Aryaville for my mukbangs. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. I love you. Gracias por ver. Adios amigos.
Hola amigos, and welcome to today's video. So today I'm